process like for you after last week, kind of finally having a game that wasn't up to your expectation after being on a rise and being able to rebound the way that you did Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the name of the game. Obviously, every week you want to play up to your standard. You want to play, exceed your standard and play great. And then obviously, things happen. You don't play as well as you want to, and it's all about how you respond, bounce back, grind throughout the week, and then come out and perform better next week.
I know there's 3 games left, and you're still trying to crunch for the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think your body of work so far this season for you?
What about it?
What do you think of it? What do you think the body of work you put out there so
far? I'm obviously first and foremost just happy to be out there. I think for me personally, I think it's definitely been a process that I think I've been getting better every week, and just understanding little scenarios better, understanding the plays better, where to go with the ball, just kind of situational awareness, things like that. But I think it's been a learning process for me, and every week I've been, growing, learning from mistakes that I've made, and but part of it just, I think, getting better every week.
I'd have to think the confidence at this point is different, better than it was maybe 3 months ago for you with all the catalog of snaps that you have. When did you feel that click in for you? When did you feel like, okay, I've got my feet under me here?
Yeah, I mean, I think just after, a couple games, just getting your feet wet, and, you start seeing things a little bit differently. Obviously, the game's a little bit faster than practice, things like that. You just, start getting comfortable out there. Sorry about that, but I think just after a couple games, getting my feet wet, and then I think every game out there, after a couple throws, things like that, I sink into the game a little bit more. So for me, it's just find out ways to be able to start the game as fast as possible, and get comfortable right at the first snap.
Hey, Drew, that scramble drill touchdown to Jaden
Mm-hmm.
the other day. What are the keys on both ends to be able to make that connection?
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into scramble drill. It's tough. It's one of those things that we try and work and recreate scenarios in practice where I'm scrambling, but it's a lot of it's on the receiver, just finding a way to get open, get into my vision. When you're down there in the red zone, find a way to stay off the tick so you don't get pushed out of bounds. And Jay Reed did an awesome job with all that stuff. And then just kind of creating space for yourself. And the timing gets thrown off in scramble drill, so there's not really a timing aspect in it. But it's really just getting open, finding space, and then making a play when the ball comes to you. And Jay Reed did all that.
What's allowed you to trust him in situations like that? Because there was no hesitation. You let that come around.
Yeah, I mean, I always trust my guys, especially in situations like that. I'm always going to keep my eyes downfield and trying to see if we got a bigger play out there than me just kind of taking off. So I'm going to let those guys work. And like I said, Jay Reed did an awesome job just kind of getting lost in the back of the end zone right there, and then breaking out to my right to be able to get in my vision, and then obviously staying off the ticks, not being able to get pushed out, and then he made a great catch.
We've talked about the deep ball accuracy throughout this season, right? That ball you put out there to Jaden down the right sideline got the DPI early in the game. Was that one of your better ones? Did that feel different? Because it looked like I know you got DPI in that catch, but it looked like you put it out there in a way that we hadn't seen that much of that play.
Yeah, even on that ball, I wish I would have been able to put it out there a little bit more. I got hit on the right. I was releasing it, so kind of didn't go exactly where I wanted to. But I think it's obvious part of that process is just understanding where these guys are going to be at, and then putting the ball out there where they can go make a play. But I still think there's more out there where I can put it out there, make sure he's the only guy that can get to it, and give him a chance to use his speed out there and not make it where it's a contested catch.
Does that take time, not only on deep throws, but setting guys up for yak? Everybody moves differently. Everyone runs their route their own way, right? Does it take time to figure out where you need to put the ball for each guy?
Yeah, I think a little bit of that. I think, the timing of just plays and understanding where guys are going to be at, and where you should be putting the ball, and then obviously who's out there plays a factor into it, of their speed, if they're getting jammed up, if the DB gets hands on it. So there's so many different factors, but I think, like you said, just having a feel of the play, and where a guy should be at, where you want him to be at, and knowing where to put the ball plays a factor into it.
Is that the next step for you think? Not just for you, but for the offense to get more consistency?
Yeah.
To learn all those things?
Yeah, definitely. I think the more consistent you can be as an offense, the better you'll be. and that's throughout practice, throughout our walkthroughs, and then obviously it all carries over to the game. But when we're all just consistent every day, being in the right spot, being on the timing of the play and all those things, that's the name of the game. I think is just consistency.
With 3 games left, what has to go right to make the playoffs, and how confident are you that you guys could be a playoff team?
Yeah, I mean, we got to win. We got to, 3 opportunities to go out there and get a win. The goal right now is to get to 9-8, and then obviously let the playoffs kind of play themselves out and see if we can get a shot in there. But yeah, I mean, obviously bouncing back after 2 tough losses, we just got to find a way to go win these last 3.
So you've been asked this already, but what do you like about Wicks?
A lot. I think just his personality, how he, approaches coming into work every week, finding ways to get better. He's always asking questions, always asking if he's in the right spot. And then, I think he's the guy that's in his coach's ear all the time, trying to find new ways to get better. But obviously you see what he does on the field. I think he's a really good route runner, a really shifty guy. He catches the ball really well, and he's making plays after the catch. He's getting a lot of yak right now. He's just a tough guy, and so he's doing a lot of really good things.
How do you make sure that you don't underestimate a team like the Panthers?
I mean, I don't think, bouncing back after two losses, I definitely don't think we're going to be underestimating anybody. So, I think we're going to come out Sunday with our best foot forward. But, I think just the stretch of games we've had, losing 2 tough ones, we're ready to bounce back, and we're definitely not about to take this game for granted.
Jordan, there's a bit of a logjam right going into that 7th seed in the NFC playoffs. Are you watching other teams? I mean, obviously you guys need to win out, but are you paying attention to the other games?
No, I mean, I'm pretty much just focused on us right now. Because, if we don't win out and do what we need to do, we don't even give ourselves a chance. So, I'm just focused on this week, handling business, and then letting the chips play out the rest of the season.
When you say focused on us, has the stuff that's been going on with the defense, Joe's taken a lot of heat this week, has that been a distraction in this locker room at all? And what's the pulse of this locker room at this point?
No, I don't think that's been a distraction. Obviously, I think just the job we do, it's highly criticized. You obviously want to put your best foot forward every week, and things don't go your way sometimes. So, I think everybody in here is just focused on bouncing back. We've done some really good things defensively, and I know those guys got a lot of confidence. So, I don't think that's been a distraction.
Jordan, did you say Wicks is always asking you if he's in the right spot?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So how often is he in the right spot, and what does that tell you that he's always asking that question?
Yeah, I think it just shows that he cares, and he's trying to make sure that we're both on the same page. But yeah, he's a guy, he'll run a route, and he'll be like, you like where I was at? You like where I got to right there? Do you like my read on this play? Things like that. So those things as a quarterback I like to see. Just shows that he cares about what my input as well, and he's trying to find ways to get better.
You and the group were pretty darn good in the red zone for a lot of this season. I think you're 3 of 10 now, the last 2 games, probably factored into the results. What's going on there? Why do you think you guys aren't quite up to what you had set as the standard before?
Yeah, I think it just comes. There's a lot of things that play into it, but I think just giving guys a shot in the end zone and going to make plays is the biggest thing we need to focus on. But I still think we're a really good team, and once we get down to the red zone, I think we do a really good job. We have done a really good job. Obviously, last week just wasn't good enough, but I think we'll bounce back this week and be able to put up some more points down there. But yeah.
Do you feel like your connection with Tucker Kraft has continued to grow throughout the season?
Yeah, I think Tuck's also a guy who's been doing a really good job, but I think that connection has been building with the more reps he's been getting, things like that with the injury to Luke. But like I've said, I think he's done a great job just stepping into that role. He hasn't missed a beat, and he's going out there and making a lot of plays right now. So, credit to him for doing all that.
From a schematic perspective, is their defense a lot like facing your defense?
Yeah, no, they do a lot of the similar things, similar style defense. There's a couple different mix-ups, but I think they're a good defense. I think they're sticky on the back end. They got a really good front, so I think it'll be good. Obviously, we've got a lot of banked reps against our defense, so that all helps. And we've done, we did a good amount of reps against our defense in the periods today. So just going against a familiar defense always helps. But yeah.
Jordan,
Just quick going back to what you said about Wicks, it looks like everybody is more in the place where they're supposed to be when they're supposed to be there. A lot more. I mean, I know what was it, Wicks and Reed that ended up in kind of the same spot on the one play last Sunday. How much has that progressed, and how much better has that made both you and the group as a whole? That you are able to, you can't just say, I trust these guys. Now you can actually trust them, and they're going to be in the right spot.
Yeah, no, it's improved a lot. You know, that's one thing when you first get into offense during OTAs and things like that. You know, you're kind of just running the routes on paper. And now I think the more reps these guys have got, they're understanding coverages and kind of where the holes are in the coverages and how, you know, the timing of plays play out. So just all the little nuances that go into every play, you know, which I think just it takes those reps, getting it, seeing it, messing up a couple times and understanding the ways to learn from it. But you know, I think that's the area that's going to keep improving the more reps we get. And when we can get that consistent, that's when, you know, we're going to be at our best.
Jordan, I can't remember, was he one of the guys that was out there with you in California when you guys got that? Could you tell early on, even as a fifth-round pick, you know, that there was something there with him that he could possibly be a player for you guys right off the bat?
100%. You know, all those reps we got out there in California were huge, but you know, just seeing the way he worked out there, you know, in the off season, he's going really hard, trying to get better, and at that time too, he's asking questions like, is this how you like this route ran? Things like that. So all those little things, you know, I was seeing when we were out there in Cali in the off season. So, yeah, there was no question for me that he was going to be a good player.
I asked this very carefully.
Couple more for him.
You saw 17, and I don't mean Anders Carlson for 2 years. Do you see a little bit of some? I know he's got a long way to go before he's anything close to Devonta. But do you see some similarities in him? Because it sounds like Matt might have said a similar thing to Aikman and Buck before the Monday night game.
Yeah, definitely. You know, you can see it just in the movements that both those guys make, catching the ball when they're out there on the field, the adjustments, like just the little subtle adjustments they make to put themselves in the best position. I've definitely seen a lot of things that I saw from Devonta. But like you said, obviously Devonta's a next level player, and Wicks is, you know, he's got a lot of room to improve his game and to get to that level. But you know, I've definitely seen signs just from the time I had with Day. But I think it's just all that little movement, things like that they're able to do, the way they're able to move their body in the air, catch balls, and they just make that stuff look easy. It's really hard stuff they're doing, and they make it look easy. But yeah, obviously not trying to put them in the same bracket. Devonta's a hell of a player, so but I think, you know, keeps working. You know, the sky's the limit for him.